number one on my 101. Okay? My second 101 is more specific. I think I have 3 101s. It's more specific, but it needs to be said, in my personal opinion. How to lose body fat. Because I feel like there's niches around specific exercises. There's niches around a type of training. There's a lot of things that people believe on socials, right, that I've run into a lot. And it's sometimes frustrating to hear because I'm like, brother, you're not even gonna, everyone wants to like hide away from it. You need to be in a caloric deficit. Unless you're just never gonna lose weight.
Yeah.
You're never gonna lose fat. It's not gonna work. Whatever type of thing you do, waist trainers, get rid of them. I never want to see a waist trainer in my life. Bars. Hey, I'm going to get some sounds on here, but I'm telling you, the sound bar, bro, the sound bar's coming. We're in the hundreds now. We got to start moving like the big boys. You get me? All
trash.
Joe Budden and that. We need to pattern up. We got to get cap. Start the cap. You know what I'm saying? We need to get that. You need to be in a caloric deficit. Now, what is a caloric deficit? You're probably thinking. You're thinking, Nick, all these scientific words, that's all great. What's a calorie? Cool. This isn't long. Calorie is a measurement of energy that you get from food. So, if you are someone that is either overweight, you've consumed way too much energy and it's built up and now it's fat now. You need to get rid of it. So, I'm going to say to you that you need to be in a caloric deficit. Now, one of the quickest ways to find out how many calories you need to eat for you to understand how much, like what type of deficit you need to be in, jump onto calculator.net. This is where the calorie calculator sits. Once you go onto that website, you'll be able to put in all your information, so your age, your height, your weight, yada, 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 how many times you work out. This will then give you how many calories you need to eat, how much energy that you need to consume to maintain, lose a little bit of weight, lose about half a kilo a week, lose a lot of weight, and drastically lose weight. You pick one that you can do consistently for about 4 to 6 weeks. Try that, stay consistent, and come back to me and be like, all right, safe. Appreciate that, bro. That's what you need to do. Listen, you can go and do whatever workout you want, bro. Go to the gym 1 to 3 times a week, 4, 5, 6, do whatever you want. Knock yourself out. Go run, weights, whatever. Go do what you want. Just do that. And then you'll lose weight. So that finally can cross out all your T's and just pattern up everything. Forget all that other stuff you see on socials and be like, oh, like I need to do this. I need to put waist training on and go on a Stairmaster and then sweat. We already spoke about the sweat thing. It's not that doesn't mean you're losing fat. Yeah. That just means your body's overheating. So what you need to do is be in a caloric deficit and you'll lose fat. Okay? It will take some weeks. It's not just going to take 4 to 6 weeks. You'll lose some weight in 4 to 6 weeks. But maybe the weight you want to lose, it might take you 6 months. It might take you 5. It might take you 8 months. But you have to do this consistently. You have to be consistent and continuous with what you need to do. So hopefully that's helped someone.
And just to add on to that, if people always ask like, oh, they probably listen to that. So there will be some people listen to that, take that on board. And there'll be other people that will listen to that and be like, no, it's not that simple.
Yeah.
It is that simple. And the thing is, yeah, you get so many, as Nick says, so many like rules or like suggestions, recommendations on what's the best way to do this, what's the best way to lose body fat. And if you ask anyone who has any experience or knowledge within fitness, or health and fitness, they're all saying the same thing. Like this message that Nick said is out there.
Yeah.
A lot of people are saying the same thing. And most of the time when a lot of people are saying the same thing, it means it's true.
Facts.
But you might think, oh, you know what? Sometimes we think something's too easy, you put it off. You think, oh, I'll do it later. Because it's not that hard. When I'm ready, I'll do it. No, like start now, you get me. If you really want to make a change, start now. But it is that simple. Like, it doesn't matter what exercise you do. Because at the end of the day, most exercises use more than one muscle in your body or more than one like body part. If you're running, you're using your arms, your shoulders, your legs, your lower back, your core, whatever. Same if you're cycling, if you're bench pressing, you're using your shoulders, your arms, triceps, all of that. So you're like when you exercise, doesn't matter what exercises you're doing, your whole body still works. Some parts work harder than the other. So you will burn calories working out. That's facts. But if you're not burning enough calories, as Nick said, to put your body into a caloric deficit, meaning your body's burning more calories or consuming more energy, using more energy than you're consuming, you're not going to lose weight.
Facts.
And the simplest way, the easiest way, is just look at what you're eating and then compare it to how much calories is in that versus how much calories your body's losing generically. And if you've got that calculator, or if you get a calorie calculator, that's the best way. Just work out what even if it's not the exact, it's still giving you a range that you can aim at.
Yeah.
And then after you start seeing results, you then know what to make specific to you. You get, because at the end of the day, is a calculator that is every single person is using this calculator. So it's not going to give every single person different answers. It's going to give me and Nick probably 200 calories apart. But in reality, when we actually start seeing differences, Nick might need to increase his calorie by 100, or I might need to reduce mine by 75. So, yeah, man, it is that simple. Like, there's no waist trainer, drink this, go in take extra hot showers to burn. That's not gonna. All of that is
drink
crap.
lime and shit. Like, it's not gonna. You get me? And take it from someone that I wouldn't say I've been there, but someone that at one point losing fat was something I'm obsessed with. But then when I started doing the things that I'm just telling you guys now, shit's easy. That shit is so easy. So when I do see people that struggle with it, it's like, okay, cool. Like, you're not going to believe this. You know what I'm saying? And granted, I understand food is something that there's an emotional attachment to it, so it's tough to completely take away that sometimes. But you don't necessarily have to eat specific foods. Of course, specific foods are good for you for a reason, of course, but we're not here for that right now. But in terms of just eat what you already eat now, but just eat a little less for a little bit and watch what happens. And then you're going to realize, like, oh, okay, it's just like that.
But the interesting thing about that, is a lot of people don't even know what's in what they eat. Exactly. So I'm not even talking about like the macronutrients. Or something. Just how many calories is in your normal portion. If you can calculate that, you then like consciously or subconsciously when you're eating, you know what, let me reduce the rice by a little bit, or let me, add some vegetables here. So you still feel full when you eat, but in terms of like how much intake of calories, it's not as much as it will usually be. So like even one of my clients now, she's like, oh, what should I eat? I said, listen, let's not be in a rush to change everything you eat. Exactly. Maybe there might be some things you need to change. All she's doing at the moment is doing a weekly food diary every single day. Just document everything you eat. There's in a shared document, so every time she updates it, I see it. Every day, whatever you eat, I don't care if it's crap. Don't hide it in it, because at the end of the day, if you want to make a change, you have to bring everything. And the times you're eating as well. You get me? And I'm a person who believes, some people might think different. Me personally, I don't really, I don't think there's anything wrong with eating at certain times of the day. It's all down to your schedule. Some people are more active during the night versus the morning or versus the day. So then you eat accordingly to when your body's most active. Do you get?
Facts.
So when you say, oh, it's not good to eat after 9, listen, some people are going gym after 9.
That's
when they come home, they need to fuel the body, bro.
Forget all of those
things. It doesn't matter. It's just about what you're actually eating. So just, make a food diary of just what you're eating maybe for the first week. Don't even change anything. Just eat as normal. Then you're going to calculate maybe on a daily basis. Okay, Monday, I had this many calories. Tuesday, I had this many calories. Then you're going to start to work out the average amount of calories you're eating daily over a weekly period. And then you're going to start to see some spikes. Maybe on Sundays, you're having takeaway. So it's going up. Okay, maybe Fridays or maybe Wednesdays, you have takeaway. Or again, most people work from home nowadays. So when they go office, that's their time to have takeaway. Do you get me? When they go out, that's the time to have takeaway. I think Kofi's here. So you're going to start seeing, okay, you know what? I don't need to change much. Maybe that Sunday that I normally do the Chinese, let me just not do the Chinese. Let me reduce that to once a month instead of 4 times a month. Do you get me?
Yeah.
But you can keep everything the same. So in terms of calories, you're now having a real representation of what you're actually eating, because you've taken away the things that are very easily that you can change really easily. Yeah. You're just keeping it real with yourself. Like, again, people from different countries, it's hard to now change like with your diet because they're traditionally used to eating this or that type of
foods
dish.
with high oils and stuff.
And it might
like
not
fats
even,
and that.
it might not be a case where that's what's doing the damage. It could be, but it might not be the case. As I said, the damage could be, you know what? Every Sunday, without fail, I'm ordering this, and this, and this from that Chinese takeaway. That altogether is like, what, extra 2,000 calories in a week that you don't need. If you spread that across the week, 2,000 calories evenly, you're looking at like, I don't know, 300 and something calories a day extra that you're consuming in one day. So you can just make that little change and then your whole week looks even like way better.
Facts.
So
Facts.
yeah, man, I added quite a lot there, but it is that simple, man. Just
Yeah,
look at
it literally is that simple. And hopefully, like I said, what we've said helps you, because I definitely know a lot of people that want to do that. So hopefully that helps.
That's, yeah, man. And
You hit it with one of yours.
yeah, I'm gonna hit them with the next one. Actually, it's awkward. I'm gonna wait, bruv. It's awkward talking to yourself, fam. Let me bring up. Right now, it's just me in this room by myself. So you can building strength. Since we're on the fitness thing, I'm gonna talk about building strength, and I feel I can talk about that because that's something for the last 2 years I've been doing, building strength. When I first started working out, strength wasn't in my forefront. It was more about the way you look. What are you telling me, bro? The way you look or the way you actually carry out a certain thing. So strength was never in my forefront when I first started working out. But I'll say over the last 2 years, that's something I've definitely been focusing on. And my strength has improved drastically. So, top tips to increase your strength. So, firstly, yeah, man. So, top tips to increase your strength. So, tip number one, focus on your compound lifts. So, your squatting, your bench press, your rows, those 3 deadlifts, those 4, I'd say focus on. For squatting, you can always alternate between leg press and barbell squats. But there's going to be key exercises that you want to focus on. That's where your strength really lies. Do you get me? Your strength is your ability to move force or a certain amount of force with a body part. Do you get me? And your biggest body parts will hold your most strength in your body. So focus on those 4 exercises: your chest, your back, upper back, lower back mainly, your glutes, your legs, so your quads, all of that. A lot of power is in your glutes. A lot of people neglect glutes. They will train a lot of legs, do a lot of squats. Squats do train glutes, but you can really isolate that if you really want to improve that.
Hip thrusts, you
All
get
of
me?
that. You get hip thrusts, some lunges, some
thrusts, you
split
get
squats,
me?
all of that. So yeah, focus on your compound moves. Progressive overload as well. But when you're training for strength, your progressive overload comes slightly differently. So you're not really focusing on increasing the number of reps every single time. It's more about the weight. You want to make small increases in the weights that you're lifting. Even if it's like a 1 kg, 0.5 kg compared to the last time you done that weight, it's still it's still an increase in it. So it's still progress. And the sooner, so give yourself, anytime you reach, let's say 8 reps on a specific weight, increase that weight. Increase it to a weight where you're then struggling to get 3 reps. And then work on it, build it to 5 reps. Then you get to 8 reps, then you're ready to increase it again. So that's what I use to measure in terms of when to like go up in weight. Alternatively, you can focus on your 1 rep max, but that's more power, not strength. Strength is power over a longer distance. Yeah. Do you get me? So it's a mixture of like power and muscular endurance. So then you get strength. So if you're aiming for the 3 rep max as a minimum to the 8 rep max as a maximum, between those rep ranges, that's what you're going to be fluctuating between as you're moving up in weight. Third tip, make sure you're eating enough. So we spoke about losing weight, taking yourself into a caloric deficit. If you want to increase your strength, you're gonna at least want to maintain your calorie intake. So you either go into a slight surplus, which is consuming slightly more calories than your body's consuming, because your body needs the energy to continue to increase your strength. If your muscles are getting repaired or your muscles are getting bigger, ideally you should be getting stronger. But that's not always the case. So if you're maintaining your calories, they'll allow your body to at least use muscle memory to basically push the weight or remember, okay, this was the last weight we've done. This is basically your new baseline. So eat enough, give your body enough time, enough energy, enough nutrients to build your strength. And then the last one, very underrated, but rest. You don't always have to be in the gym. You don't have to do I'm in the gym over a weekly period, Monday to Friday. On average, I'd say last 6 months, I'm averaging 4.5 days a week in the gym. But you don't have to do that. I just like going to the gym. If you want to be building your strength, you can do 3 days in the gym. Give your body enough time to rest, because there's no point if your body hasn't recovered fully and you try to increase the weight, you're not then performing at your maximum capacity. You might think, yeah, mind over matter, that's cool, but also apply some common sense. Give your body enough time to rest. Maybe if you train chest on Monday, don't train chest on Tuesday or Wednesday. Do like Thursday, Friday or something. But give your body, each body part, maybe at least 2 days maximum to actually recover before you touch it again.
Facts.
But yeah, if you follow those 4 tips over a long period of time, because it actually took me a year to get from 80 kg to 100 kg, 20 kg difference. It took me a year. Yeah. People think, oh, that's mad. And then I saw the exponential from over like a 3-month period, went from 100 kg to 120, whatever. So it has to be over a set period of time, then you're going to start seeing those differences. But yeah, man, you want to increase your strength, follow those tips. You can rewind it, write it down. And yeah, man, let me know how that works out for you.
Trust me. I think that would be very useful for some of the young gunners, even some of the old heads. Be like, no, man, I'm trying to increase the strength. How I really do that, and I feel like that should help a lot of people, man. That's what this episode will have this premise of. You get me? That is, you could take something from it. It's a 101. It's something that you get me.
Yeah, man.
You're able to take away.
One thing, just to tie all of that up. If everything I said is a bit complicated or it's going to take you a bit of time to understand, think of it this way. To increase my strength, I need to train my biggest body parts or muscle groups. So just think of it that way. So you don't need to go and do the preacher curls. That's not going to increase your strength. You don't have to do all those fancy movements. Keep it simple. Your squats, your deadlifts, bench press, and you're good. Because
that's exactly how I increased my strength. Like when I was increasing my strength, that's all I focused on. Basics. Just the basics. Biggest body parts. And that's what I focused on for months. And that's what I will focus on when I do go back into a strength training program. That's all I'm going to be focusing on. That if I want certain body parts to look a little nice, I might throw a little biceps, a little triceps in there. But that's for me anyway, specifically to be more aesthetically or to help out those bigger body parts. That's really about it. But mainly, if I want to get stronger, I will just be doing my main body parts for sure.
Yeah, man. As I said, like, exercising naturally uses more than one body part. So it doesn't really matter generally when you're working out what exercise you're doing. But if you're specifically trying to achieve something, then you would specifically train the type of way. Yeah. So if you want to look good, then there's going to be the smaller sort of exercises or the micro movements that you can focus on. But if you want to actually feel good, then you're going to have to do it a slightly different way.
Trust me. Facts.
You got another list? Another one? I got another one actually.
You got another one, yeah? Hit them with another one.
So, obviously, I had losing weight on my list as well. Building strength, we covered that. You also covered editing. Right, so I'm going to touch on what I do on a 9-to-5 basis, which is selling. And the reason why this is very important, 1 second. The reason why this is really important is because it's a life skill. Just like people say swimming is a life skill, cooking is a life, selling is a life skill. Because as a human being, from the moment you're born, you're going to be selling yourself or position yourself in comparison to someone else selling for the rest of your life.
But no, touch on at what points in your life you will be selling yourself.
So
like from those points, because I have a few in my head, but I wouldn't.
Yeah. So for example, as soon as you start interacting with other human beings, so let's say if you're a little kid and you're like in nursery or something, subconsciously, obviously you're getting taught everything you know, but naturally there's going to be some natural behaviors that's going to make people look at you or treat you in a different way. Do you get me? So maybe as a kid you're more athletic, then so naturally if there's a sport session, they're going to pick you.
Yeah.
You subconsciously sold yourself to basically get the best sort of position in that. Then as you get older and you start making your own choices, it might be, for example, the university you want to go to. You get me? So the way your teachers are then going to help you in order to get the grades you need, you're essentially selling yourself. So if you can then position yourself in a way where, okay, the teacher wants to help you, you're going to get, or you ideally, you're going to get the best results. And then obviously you got, so when you start applying for jobs, when you're networking or building relationships, you're selling yourself in terms of your benefits. What can you bring to someone else's life to get what you want or to get a mutual benefit? Relationships, bruv. When you're flipping dating, you're selling yourself. You're selling elements. So you're practicing sales. So when I say selling yourself, it sounds a bit weird, innit?
Yeah.
When you're exercising sales techniques, should I say?
And I feel like the selling yourself, the fact that it sounds weird is because it has been, you know, dragged, in my opinion. Because I don't think selling yourself's bad.
It's not, yeah.
Do you feel me? So I feel like it's been dragged in the media where it's like if you sell yourself, it's like selling your body or you're selling your soul and all those types of things. It makes it seem like you're doing it for monetary gain only. When in theory, you'll be doing it in terms of you might be selling yourself for trust. Like you want to show this person that I'm someone that's trustworthy. I need to prove that to you in some way. So it's a transaction of those two things as opposed to selling yourself for monetary gain.
And the thing is, over time, the skill of selling or the skill of sales is like, there's the gap between the people who know or subconsciously thinking about it. There's people who are just going about their day and they don't realize it. It's so wide because there are techniques that was recognized in the early days, things like making eye contact, having a good firm handshake, like all of these things, it's just become part of natural life. Do you get me? Yeah. These just natural behaviors where like everyone does it, even if they don't think they're selling, they just do it. So now it's like the playing field has been evened. So now there's been so many new studies and like tests and all of that that's been done to, okay, what's now a way we can evolve the art of selling or improve people's selling skills. And one thing, or the thing that trumps everything, is there's that saying that people buy from people, which is true. So it's never really about the product you're selling. Some products sell themselves, Nike, Apple. Like you don't, when you look at their marketing campaigns, you can just have a poster, it has a Nike tick on, it says out soon. People are like, wow, what's coming out? Because over time, Nike's been able to build that relationship with what their chosen supplier for that specific product. Yeah. Same as Apple. Like you don't even need to know the perks of the next iPhone, but you know for sure you're going to upgrade your iPhone soon. That's just what Apple's been able to establish over a set period of time. So people, like some products will sell themselves because of this, because of the name that they hold. But most of the time, when you're buying from someone, you're not necessarily just buying the product. Like you're never going to go to the Apple store or your phone shop or whatever, and when you buy something, you remember who you bought it from. Like, what was the last big purchase you made?
My bike downstairs.
Do you remember? Did you buy it from someone or you bought it from a website?
The thing is, yeah, it was like a two-part. So no, I bought it from someone physically. The person that I would say sold it to me, I would say I remember that. But the person that I did the transaction with, I don't remember. Does that make sense?
So yeah, that's a unique case.
Yeah.
But the same logic applies. So
it does.
the first interaction or the first interaction you had was with the person you didn't make the transaction with. So already you've got a good feeling about buying this bike. Then it's got you in a position where the person now making the transaction, they've got an easier job because you're already feeling good about the bike. So that's the next tip is nowadays people buy on feeling as well. So firstly is people buy from people, but then on top of that, if I can make you feel a type of way, about a product or a service, that's the easiest way to make a sale.
Yeah.
So I don't need to start listing out all the features. Yeah, it's got free Wi-Fi, it's got a drink dispenser, it's got this, that. No, if I can tap into your feelings, like how is this product, this service going to make you feel once you have it, and I can then make you start imagining yourself with it, you're gonna want to get it anyways, and that's gonna make the sale easier. So if you can learn to tap into people's emotions, and it's not always about the sale. Just because, like, for example, the person who's buying it, the consumer's got the money, doesn't mean they're the right fit. So if you want to be an honorable salesperson, you're gonna focus on, is this person the right person for this product? And then also, am I tapping into the emotion? So yeah, those three things, they are a bit vague, but because selling is so vague as well, the industry for selling, you can sell in technology, you can sell in real estate, you can sell in fashion, like so many industries, so many sectors, but the rules across those sectors are the same. You can get a successful salesman within the technology industry and put him in the fashion industry. Even with his lack of fashion knowledge, he's still going to perform well because he knows the art of selling.
No, that's what's up, man. That's what's up.
For sure.
That's something that I could definitely use as well, to be fair.
Yeah, man, just tap into people. If you can make someone feel good about doing something, then that's more likely gonna get done. So it's like, find out what's motivating this person, innit? So, and you don't ever go out and try to sell something straight away. You understand who you're selling to, and what makes them tick. You get me?
For sure.
The reason why they're gonna actually sell. Bye.
I think I'm not sure how many you got left, bro. I think this might be the last one, innit?
I got one, but it's just to add on to the video. I wanted to add on to the editing thing, but it's more about just visually. If you're into anything visually, photography, videography, whatever. One thing I'll say, is learn composition. Composition is basically how a subject or object is placed, the positioning of that object or subject within a frame. If you can learn different compositions, it's gonna make everything so then you can start to plan ahead. So people, I don't know what to do, but if you have a composition, and you might say, okay, you know what, that picture, do something visually creative with that picture. Because you know so many different compositions, the rules of third, okay, that picture, if I frame it this way in this frame, I'll know exactly what to do. And then you start taking it from there. Yeah. You get it? So, yeah.
For sure. One question that I feel like we get a lot, just as a collective, innit, is, hey, yo, man, how do you do a podcast? Like, how does it work? Get me? And I feel like there's a few points that we could probably put in there that, drop a little seeds to help people that they might see the pod or see other podcasts and be like, no, I want to do that. Or because what's mad is that maybe we don't think about it a lot, but a lot of people are probably in the position that we was in 2 years ago, 3 years ago, but they're in there now. So what are some of the things that we would have wanted to hear in terms of how do you start a podcast? Because I know we was struggling, like we was thinking, like, brother, we was over here trying to put a flower and a wire together, like, yo, what is this? Is this audio gonna work? You get me?
Can you hear that?
Yeah, but what can you hear that? What can you hear my voice? Yeah, no, bro, I can't hear nothing.
You know what? I think that will do you then.
Yeah, I think that will do. Let's firm this. Let's run it. No, like, what can we tell them? You get me? I know I got a couple points.
Yeah, I got a couple for sure, fam. I think the first thing.
What about the first thing?
The first thing.
First, number one, numero uno.
So it's the question: how do I start a podcast?
How do you start a podcast?
By myself or with
it could be Dolo or
just in general.
Yeah.
Keep as much of the production in your hands as possible. And the reason I say that is, it's going to make sense. But one thing that we haven't struggled with since we've started is consistency. Yeah. That's one thing that we said from the beginning, but we haven't struggled. But I think being able to keep as much of the production, be as hands-on as possible, has allowed us to be consistent because we've not needed anyone
from the outside.
Do you get me? It's never been a case where, that's DJ's a close, what we're going to do? We have no equipment. Bro, that camera wasn't available today, bro. I haven't got one. Yeah. If you've got the means, so if you've got the equipment or you have a way of getting the equipment and owning it, I'd say do that. so that recording the first, second, third, and continuing to record, you're not going to run into as much hurdles that's out of your control as possible.
So yeah, piggybacking on the back of that, invest. That means everything. That's not just invest your time. That's not just invest your ideas and your thought process and you going out and doing stuff with your friends. No. Invest financially, invest emotionally, invest. Put in the money. Because I think a lot of people, where they're going wrong, they're going into studios first. They're like, we just found a studio and let's just record. And they're like, okay, cool. That's cool. How much was the studio? Of £50 for 2 hours or £70 for 2 hours or whatever it may be. Okay. So what about the next one? Oh, let me see if we can run it. Let's see if we can run it. Then they run it.
Yeah.
It's like, all right, what about the next one? I'll get paid in like 2 weeks. Let them hold that for now, and then we'll run it back when I get paid. And then you do it. And then you're thinking, nah, this is kind of long, bro. I'm paying £75 every. This is mad.
Yeah.
Every single episode, you're spending way more than you need to on a podcast where you could have saved all that money, invested in decent mics, maybe one camera.
Yeah. They even need to have a camera.
Do you get me?
We started visually because we had the means to.
Yeah, we had the means to. If you're someone that just, you get me, you just want to just record on just a podcast and you don't even want the cameras like that, or you don't have the means to, leave the cameras. Build your thing up on the audio only and go from there. But the main premise of, I think, number one is invest. So go out, research, buy these products and have them yourself so you can never be stopped from other people around you. Studio's not all fully booked, all that malarkey. That's all out of the window if you have your own kit. That's number one. I will say number two, be proactive. Don't be reactive, be proactive. What I mean by that is this. If you're someone who is either you're in a group or you're on your own, you have to be someone that takes charge regardless. So you see us three, right? We're three people that are individual in our own right. But if Johnny's got something that he needs to do for us, he's going to make sure he does it. I don't have to chase Johnny to do some shit. I have to chase Kofi. Everyone's going to handle what they need to handle. So if you're someone who's a singular person doing a podcast or you're in a group, be responsible. Do the job you're supposed to do. If you're the person that's supposed to bring the camera on time. If you're the person that's supposed to set up studio time, make sure you're doing that. Be accountable for yourself and kick yourself up the arse and you get to work. But I want to be more specific in terms of my third point, on how do you actually start it. So, number one, get yourself recording equipment. So, whether it be a Rodecaster, if that's too expensive, there's a lot less ones. What was the one that we used at that we rented? We rented one. It was like a H.
Yeah, that was a handheld recorder.
Handheld recorders. They're not as expensive as Rodecasters and stuff. They are maybe in the low hundreds.
Listen,
£75, bro.
Let's even go a step back.
Laptop, Memo, bro. Use Memo on your iPhone, bro.
You don't even need a mic.
You've got a mic in your hand. Your phone is you're listening to this on a mic.
Listen, you don't need. Your need needs to be more than your want.
Facts.
We all want we all want our shit to be the best.
I got the mad thing.
Yeah, we all want that, but we all have to start within our means.
Facts.
Do you get it, bruv? TGI, whatever.
TGI what? Fridays?
No,
I ain't been there in time, you know.
No, bruv, the podcast, bro.
Oh yeah. Shout out them, yeah. No, I ain't been there in time, bro. I can't even lie.
I've been there like twice in my life, but yeah, there was a time where they're just doing Zoom, like recording their episodes on Zoom with Zoom audio, but they still get it cracking.
Yeah.
Do you get me? So really and truly, like, getting equipment is all like if you have the means, then definitely do that, because I think if you invest a little bit of yourself into something, you're gonna try harder, because if you spent money, it's like you don't want it to go to waste.
Yeah.
So if you have the means of investing in equipment, but if you're starting from complete scratch, your pockets are empty, bro.
Yeah, you're low.
Listen,
you're low right now, but we got big dreams. You get me?
Some J. Cole. If you're on your J. Cole thing, bro, you get me. $1 and a dream. $1.
You get me? Funds is low.
If that's all you got, then listen, you've got a mobile phone with a recorder on it. Yeah,
Trust
get
me.
yourself a quiet room. Give yourself like 30. Your episode don't need to be mad long.
Don't be long. Give yourself 30, 45 minutes to get busy.
Listen, get in the toilet. Tell us that, listen, I'm doing number 2. No one disturb me in here. And just have some things that you're going to talk about.
And cook up. And I would say that kind of leads me on to my next point. Be prepared. Be prepared.
For what are some of the things that they can be prepared for?
So be prepared for, number one, topics. Don't get me wrong. Sometimes, man, we come on there, we just kick game in it. We might just come here and just say, you know what, boys, we're just gonna talk about whatever the fuck we want. But 8 times out of 10, there's a premise. There's something that we come here to discuss. There's something I've got like 3 or 4 points I want to make. Jonny, Kofi, we've got points we want to make. And to be fair to you, out of, let's say we've got 2 each, out of those 6, we've literally gonna really talk about 4. So that means we've over prepared in that, right? Where we've got enough topics to even go into the next episode. And our episodes are like 2 hours long. So be prepared. Don't come over, don't just turn the mic on and just be like, oh shit, what am I gonna talk about? No, be prepared, have confidence, and be someone that's prepared. Like, if you're prepared, it means you care in it. It means you respect what you're doing. So definitely be prepared for that. Also, this takes me into my next point. Be prepared, meaning that you have to know where your pod is going once you've recorded it. Don't just be out here thinking, oh, I want to record a pod, and then you look at me and be like, okay, now what? You get me? Like, what do you mean now what? You need to know what's going to happen next. You need to know, once you go into the room, you sit down, have the conversation about X. Once you're done here, what's the next process? The process is you need to find yourself a distributor. So now we use one that's called Lisbon. Lisbon is a distributor.
Libsyn.
Is it Libsyn?
Yeah.
Or is it, I thought it was isn't it Lisbon?
That's Libsyn.
Libsyn, whatever. Johnny knows this more because he spends more time on it. You get me? That's like his realm. You know what I'm saying? He handles that. But Lisbon is a
You said that again.
oh, whatever, man. Whatever it is, bro. It's Lisbon, innit? To me, it's Lisbon. Like I'm going to Portugal.
That's the town, cuz.
Anyway, Libsyn. That sounds weird though. I'm not jacking out.
Say whatever you mean, yeah.
Say what I say. So anyway, Lisbon, yeah, is a distribution platform where once you put your audio onto it, and then of course you then choose where it goes. So whether it goes on Spotify, Apple, wherever you want to get busy in it. So you find those. There's multiple. So you don't have to use that one, but that's just the one that we use.
A few others you can look at. Anchor. Music, I think BuzzFeed or BuzzPod, one of them. But yeah, I'm not gonna keep going because I don't know what it is.
But find yourself one of those, and then that's of course you're gonna have to create an account with them, yada yada yada. Get yourself set up with them, and then of course that is where your shit then ends up on Spotify or on SoundCloud or wherever you want to put it in it. Like that's where you're gonna go with that. And then of course if you want to go onto YouTube, of course you've already recorded your stuff on the visuals. How you get the audio and the visuals to connect is in editing software that I spoke about before. This is something you're gonna have to get into if you're gonna do visuals because it all ties in together. But you're gonna have to sync your audio from your actual podcast itself to the visuals of the camera itself. Okay, so once you do that, then you can get that crisp sound of your audio that you recorded with the visuals instead of obviously camera audio. Yeah. So these are the things that you have to do in terms of once you get it recorded, where does it go and how does it come out? So hopefully that's giving a bit of hope. I don't know if the man has got something to add.
I've got one more, but I've got I know a couple people, or a few people, should I say, that's like started a podcast or do podcasts, and but I'll come into that. One thing I'll add is going on for what you said in terms of being prepared. Plan way ahead, way ahead, because it's actually very, very demanding and challenging to keep up with demand. So let's say, for example, like there's been times where we recorded 3 episodes ahead before we drop it. So like what you're listening to, that shit is like a month old
school shit.
Do you get me? Our first ever episode that we recorded that in end of 2018 and it came out in 2019. Yeah. Do you get me? And when I say it's hard to keep up with demand, from the beginning,
you know, oh, here we go.
If you say, you know what, I'm gonna do weekly, but I'm gonna record weekly as well and then drop it weekly. So that's like what we're doing now. But it's taken us 100 episodes to get to this point where we can do that because we've got everything in place to do that
comfortably. Yeah.
But we're talking about finding time in your schedule, that your new schedule that you're creating to include podcasting. Yeah. Finding time on a weekly basis to do it. finding fresh topics. I'm not gonna lie. Sometimes it is tough to come up with topics.
It's a drought.
We just think, bro, there's nothing's going on.
Shit going on.
Nothing interesting I want to talk about.
Last time I saw these niggas was 6 days ago, fam. Ain't shit happened, bro.
Nothing's happened, bro. I'm still on the same PR. I've been in the gym, bro.
Yeah, you get me.
So coming up with things to talk about on a weekly basis, and again, it doesn't always have to be, current topics or current situations. All of that. It could be, in a specific sector, or specific industry, or whatever you want to talk about. But coming up with fresh weekly topics is hard. Number 2, again, it is demanding to upload, like, you get me, all the admin that goes behind it. It can be demanding because sometimes today I'm going to have to go home. I'm not going to go to sleep. I'm going to upload it so it's out tomorrow. Yeah. Do you get me? All these things. Nick has to make sure before we leave.
Yeah, I'm going to do the same shit. You know what I'm saying?
He gets the shit ready for me.
Yeah.
If you're doing that from day one, it's hard to maintain. So it's going to be easy for you to just leave it. Start with what you can manage.
Yeah.
Make plans, prepare. Plan yourself 4 episodes ahead and try to remain 4 episodes ahead for at least the first 3-6 months of however long you're on the
So
podcast.
you get comfortable with it.
Exactly. Once you're comfortable, then you can start doing things on demand and reacting, because certain things will just be natural behavior, muscle memory. But from the beginning, plan ahead, plan your episodes ahead, plan when you're going to upload, plan the times, like try keep to a routine. Every single week on this specific day, this is when I upload. Every single week on this specific day, this is when I'm going to record. If you start to make those little preparations,